Hi, everybody. Nicole here from Hair of the Dog, and I am joined with one of my dear, incredible friends, Heather Lotnan from the Flourish Academy. She also happens to be the chief editing ninja at Hair of the Dog, and she has kind of a new title. It's the chief editing ninja and productivity ninja. No, that was a lot of ninjas. You're very ninja-like.
I love that. Let's add one more to that, Nicole. How about motivational strategist?
I love that. That sounds fancy and awesome and very motivating.
Yeah, right.
That is awesome. Oh, well, thank you so much for being here with us today. I know tomorrow, I think it's December 1st, right? Yeah, tomorrow. Holy cow. So this is like photographer tsunami overwhelm. I mean, it's normal, like non-photographer overwhelm too, because it's Christmas time. So everyone's just like, ah. But then you add in like, oh, photography business. And fall is, and then a lot of people might still have their corporate job or their regular 9 to 5, and end of the year is always, so you're seeing all the themes here. Kind of crazy. So yeah, this comes at a good time to chat about how to get out of that state.
Yeah, a lot of people feel very overwhelmed and stressed out, like you said, this time of year anyway, just based on the holidays. But you add a business to that, and it's like it goes up a level, especially if you're working a corporate job, whether full or part-time, and you're starting or just growing your photography business. I mean, you can just feel crushed, you know?
Yeah,
so I would help with that. That's my job.
Nice.
My job to help.
Yeah, the state of overwhelm is high in that situation.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
You left a corporate job when you started your business, correct?
I did. Well, it's nonprofit world, so it wasn't corporate, but it was over 40 hours a week. I mean, probably 40.
Oh. So okay, how did you manage that transition between corporate and let me ask you specifically, were you starting to grow your business prior to leaving?
All right. So yeah, so here's the rundown. I had my daughter in 2008. I was still working in the zoo world. I spent 13 years as a zoological animal trainer. My last probably 5-6 years at the National Aviary in Pittsburgh, I was assistant director of animal programs when I left there. And I was just ready for a change, you know, and I was pregnant with Colin. And I was like, you know, I'm going to be paying for daycare. In the zoo world, you don't make a ton of money. It's not about the money. It's about loving what you do. I was like, I'm going to spend a lot of my salary on daycare. And I was to the point where I didn't love my job anymore. I was kind of stuck in middle management. And even when I got to work with the animals and jump into training sessions, like it became more of a, you know, it was just time. It was just time for something new. And I always wanted to do something on my own. I always had this entrepreneurial spirit, but I didn't know what that looked like. I thought, oh, I could definitely be a dog trainer. I love working with dogs. And I'm like, no, I can't handle the people because I can't handle coming back to somebody's house the next week. And they're like, well, the dog's still doing this. And well, did you do the homework I gave you?
Well, because dogs have parents. That's the problem.
Exactly. I can't parents really want to know. Like, I loved working and I love teaching, you know, hence here I am, Hair of the Dog. But like, and I loved working with trainers in my old jobs and teaching them how to train because they wanted to learn and they wanted to implement it and they spent the time. But yeah, so anyway, I was like, no, can't do that. Maybe I'll do photography. I always liked photography. I knew nothing other than like P for professional or just that's all I knew. Like, here we go. I know nothing. So it's just like, but I, you know, had an eye for composition. I just appreciated it. I liked it. So it's like, all right, we can start learning more about this. So that all started probably about, actually when I found out I was pregnant with my son, that's when these ideas all started transforming. So I started to learn more. I knew that I needed to learn things. So I looked for instructors, teachers. I ended up going to Imaging USA, which is PPA's conference, which I just like Googled. I'm like, there has to be a photography conference. And I found that and it was like the best thing ever. I went there before I even started my business, got to see the trade show, had a couple classes. There was, I think it was Allison Tyler Jones about like wall art sales and in-person sales and Pro Select that literally changed the trajectory of my business. Because I was going to start off and be, you know, $150.
Really?
An hour. Yeah. Making big bucks with that TV. So yeah, so then I learned and I started to develop that. So I was kind of laying the groundwork for my business basically while I was still working my job for like 6 months, because I knew after I had my son that I'd have a little maternity leave, but I was going to leave my job. I went back for like a month just so I could have benefits over maternity leave. But then I knew I was going to move on. But I wanted to get that all kind of situated. So yeah.
But when you left your job, that's when you actually started photographing?
I did some earlier. So I did a couple sessions before I left. And I did those kind of as, hey, here's some money for all your files. Because I wasn't quite ready. I didn't have the samples yet. It was kind of a great way to get started with, hey, here's a little influx of money into my business to buy some samples. And I knew when I came back, like when I officially launched it, it was going to be product driven. So yeah, so I had a couple, but I did, I had to do the website, like, oh my gosh, and the contracts and like all that behind the scenes stuff. There's a lot of
marketing, getting clients, growing your business, building your portfolio. And you had at this time 2 very small children?
Yeah, 1.5 at that point. One and yes, and growing a human.
Which takes a lot of effort, by the way, to grow a human.
And then afterwards, 2 very small kids, and then I went back to work for a little bit. Granted, it was winter, but yeah, and then it was balancing. It was a different kind of balancing, because at least when you're working a job and you're trying to build something on the side, you have one human to control, and that is you. When you're trying to build a business and have 2 small children, I mean, you're living in a house with 2 tiny little dictators that are just like, no, I want to cry now, and I want to be fed now, and I'm not going to sleep now. I'm going to sleep over there. And it's just, it's like you oh my gosh, it's insane. But
so was your biggest struggle, was it around just time and overwhelm? Did you feel stressed at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely time. I think it taught me a couple things. Number one, it taught me I better have a plan, because when I have a couple minutes to implement, I need to be ready to go. It taught me to work smarter, not necessarily harder. It just taught me to be ready to take advantage of timing when I could, and to have a bigger vision, like to kind of know where I'm going, so that I can implement when I had the time. And it also taught me some grace that, done is better than perfect, and Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's all right. And you can still get started if you don't have this perfect website and the perfect pricing sheet and the perfect everything else. I mean, my business still, there's a whole bunch of stuff I want to update. Like, it's never perfect.
Yeah. So the key there was just to do something, do anything, and get it out there so that you knew how and what to refine, right? Because you can think about it all day long, but until you actually take action, you won't gain clarity. You'll just be confused. Should I do this? Should I do that? And you just have to do it. Okay. So when you were, correct me if I'm wrong, at the time you were photographing pets, but also you were doing people as well, weren't you?
I started because I was like, well, there's no way I can make a living being just a pet photographer, even though that would be awesome. I mean, granted, this is back in 2011, guys. This is before pet photography was a thing. There were a couple people doing it, but not widespread. So markets, like people didn't know it was a thing. So part of the challenge then was telling your market that, hey, this is a thing. So it's like, well, I'll do families too. So I did families. I liked it. I didn't just like families. I loved a lot of my families that I photographed. But it got to the point where I wanted to do so much more with the pet side of things, and I didn't have the time. And it just needed to make decisions, because sometimes, you start doing these things and all of a sudden you're like, I just need to make a decision here. And you actually help with that.
Well, I was going to ask, at what point were you certain, and how did you make that transition or gain that clarity from families to like, I'm going to focus fully on pets?
I wasn't certain. I was kind of like, I scared my pants off myself. So I was like, oh my God, can I really do this?
Right.
It was hard. I remember I came to a business boot camp class of yours, because I was like, I need some clarity, some clarity here, because this is where I feel that I want to take my business, but oh my God, is this a stupid decision? Because my families at the time was making good money.
Oh, right.
I didn't do a thing to market them. It was all word of mouth and Google. I did literally nothing. And I was like, and it was a good half of my business. I mean, I was probably making $60,000 a year photographing families with a $2,000, $2,500 average. I mean, it was easy. So yeah, so it was scary. It was scary, but I knew it was the right decision because sometimes you have to say no to certain things to open up the space for the other things, because there's always an opportunity cost with whatever decision we make, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it sounds like there was a lot of, you had this like conflict with decision and fear, which is if I make this decision, what will happen to my family business? Am I wrecking my photography business because I'm making good money? And then there's fear around that. So, but listen, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. When you showed up for the business boot camp that I was running at the time, I was a little surprised because I thought, man, Nicole is awesome. She has it all together, but really it was just a decision point for you, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you know, the closer you are to your business, which, hello, this is a personal brand, guys, we're running, so we're pretty darn close. Sometimes you just need outside perspective because you can't see the whole big picture. And we also have this thing called fear and ego that's back here like, this is dumb. You make the money over here. What the heck are you thinking? You are going to starve. You know, like you need someone else to be like, kick that, you know, down the road and be like, because I think, if we truly ask ourselves and allow ourselves to actually like hear what we're asking ourselves and listen to our gut, we know what we want to do and we know what we want our business to look like. But oftentimes our brain is programmed to keep us safe and make us play small. And it puts up all these excuses, and they can be the form of, oh, that'll never work in my market, to there's not enough clients here. Well, I would never pay that, to this or that, to, why are you getting rid of this easy income stream, to all those things. So yeah, sometimes.
So that business boot camp was a 1-day intensive where I hit you hard and I would ask you, okay, what is it you want? And you along with other people would say, well, I don't know. I'm kind of not sure. I think, and I kind of get in people's faces about this. And I'm like, you know what you want. You're just afraid to admit it. Mm-hmm. And there's some type of fear around this decision. And you know what I tell people always, 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 there is no such thing as a right or wrong decision. It's just a different choice. Now, sometimes I make choices that are less than optimal, in which case I just pivot. I just make a new decision, but you can't move forward until you at least do something. You have to do something. Therefore, you have to be okay with making a less than ideal decision. Again, not right or wrong, just less than ideal, but make the decision because it will get you to the right decision much faster. So when we did that 1-day intensive, did you leave here with clarity? Did it help?
It did. It did. Absolutely. I knew that really to stop second guessing myself and to just go do it because I could always change.
Yeah. So the decisions and fear are what hold people back. They wonder if they're just doing the right thing. So they want to get a lot of voices in their head, and ask and pull the world. Hey, do you think I should do this? And what about this? And that's fine to do to get some advice. But the truth is, what you want to do, just do it. There's really very few irreversible decisions.
That's true.
So I ask people, is the decision you're about to make reversible? And if the answer is yes, then just do it. Why are you waiting? So for instance, if someone is working a corporate job right now, and maybe they have small children and they have bills to pay, of course, and they want to start this business and follow the dream, I say to them, what's the worst case scenario? Can you reverse the decision? Let's say you quit the corporate job and everything tanks. It doesn't go how you want. Could you go back and get another job?
Right.
Of course you could. Could you make adjustments to your business and get new mentors or take new classes and improve things? Absolutely. So there's always something that you can do. You won't let your family starve. I mean, for anybody watching this video, chances are you've always, at least in your adult life, had a roof over your head and food in your belly. Like, you're going to be okay. If you make a decision to leave a corporate job or do something, and by the way, I'm not minimizing these decisions. These are big decisions. Yeah. But if you do that, I promise you, you will not get mauled by a bear.
Right, exactly.
You won't. You're not going to die. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, you should definitely make the proper preparations. Like, absolutely. I wouldn't leave my corporate job tomorrow having not built my website or have a plan.
Right. Don't be an idiot. Yeah, have a plan. But you're not going to die.
Running. But, I mean, don't let fear stop you from moving in that direction and taking action. Even if you take a small step every day. Like, I always ask this too when people are overwhelmed. I'm like, what is one tiny thing that you can do today, 5 minutes, that'll move you in that direction?
Right.
Is it Googling a couple business names that you're thinking of to see if they're already taken? Great, do that. Is it doing a quick Google on figuring out how to apply for your sales tax? Great, do that. Is it just making a list of the things you need to do? Do that. Do something. Doesn't have to wait until you have like a week.
Everything in order. Yeah. And everything in order. You just have to do something. It will never happen. Can you imagine if we all waited to have children until we were absolutely ready? There'd be no kids. Yeah, no one would ever do it. You have to take the next.
Thinking about I'm 41, almost 42. What? Anyway, I remember looking at my parents when they were in their early 40s, and my God, they seemed old, and my God, I thought they knew what they were doing. Turns out they didn't. Turns out they're just winging it like me. Like, I'm not screwing up too bad.
We're just all trying to figure it out the whole way along. I'm 44, Nicole. That's insane. That puts me in my mid-40s. That's crazy. I should have it together now.
Yeah, 40s.
Wow, that's okay. Yeah, but you know what? I wonder for people watching, what was one of did you ever have a fear or a sticking point that held you back, that you like something you didn't know how? Let me give you an example. I work with a lot of photographers who will maybe get hung up on the legalities. Like, I don't know how to collect or pay sales tax, or I don't know how this works. So they just become absolutely paralyzed. Yep. They just can't move. Did you ever have anything like that?
I actually had one of those things today. And then I said, screw it, just do it. So
really?
Yeah. So I'm working on this little like online something I announced to you guys a while ago. And I've been waiting to like start getting stuff together because I'm like, I need a logo. Oh, I should have my designer do it. Man, what does it look like? Man. You know, I sat down this morning, I'm like, I'm just doing it. Guess what? I just made something in 2 minutes. It's not perfect. It's not great, but it's done.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. So, and literally, I mean, it'd be like a week or two. I'm like, I should do this. I should do this. I should do this. And then it's just so easy to have other things that are more fun that go up on my to-do list instead of looking at my to-do list as like, what are like the 3 most important things that I need to do today to get to my goals? Like, what of all these things, not what's the most fun? Because I think this is an easy trap for people to fall into too, where they're like, and I know I'm very guilty of this, very guilty, where I'm like, well, I have all these things and this seems the most fun right now. This seems the most fun right now. And all of a sudden then I feel at the end of the day like I didn't get anything accomplished because it wasn't directional progress. It was like a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there. I mean, I had progress, but not.
You had activity. You had activity. You went for the activity.
Yeah, well, it was activity, but it was still stuff that needed to get done, and it was kind of fun. But I could have gotten there a lot faster if I was more systematic about it and just said, what things do I need to do today? And then once those are done, then you can pick a fun thing. Reward yourself.
There you go. That's a good idea. Reward yourself. You know what I do on my top 3 things I want to accomplish? I ask myself, what's the one thing I don't want to do? And that's a clue. That's a clue where I should start. Because if I start with that one thing, the rest come just easier. Plus you get the momentum effect.
Oh, yeah.
You do something hard and then you
feel so good about yourself. You're like, I just did that. You know, it was hard.
Yep.
It's done.
Yep. And you know what I like? Something you said to me recently over like explaining how you just did that logo and you just made it up. You told me, you gave me permission to make things up.
Yeah, right.
You just said you have permission to make things up and just, you don't need anyone's approval or stamp that says, yes, you can do that. You can do whatever you want.
Yep. Amen, sister.
That's good.
So tell me about your latest.
All right. I put something together. I did.
With productivity and time management, huh?
Okay, so I work with a lot of photographers and I started to see some patterns in where they were struggling. And just an FYI, it wasn't about shutter speed, ISO, and aperture, nor was it about Lightroom and Photoshop.
Right.
It had to do with this sense of stress and overwhelm, that they're not sure if they're working on the right things or what they should be doing, or are they growing their business right, or should they be taking this class or doing whatever. And what I boiled it down to was a lack of clarity. They just didn't have clarity. The most productive people I know, of which I am one, is we get crystal clear on our purpose, our project, our goals, our drive, whatever. And that dictates our to-do list or what we're going to do. So if you sit down at your computer in the morning or maybe in the evening after you have worked all day and you have put the kids to bed and you're exhausted, if you attempt to think at that point in the day, you're toast. You just can't. You just can't. You've spent it all. So, but if you, the day before, had prepared a list of 3 things that you needed to accomplish once you got the kids to bed, and you sat down, brain dead or not, you saw that list, you'd be like, boom, boom, boom. You check it right off the list because you knew what to do. So you have to think prior to execution. And I always say all of your decisions should be made before you encounter them. Yeah. Because then you're not wasting time wondering or thinking, or I always say I want to be the best brain dead photographer out there. I always say that. I just mean that I want to do the thinking ahead of time. So I put together this 3-part video series, and it is totally free, where I walk through this process. Zoe is super excited about it.
1 minute. Oh.
Zoe is excited about it because she wants to become more productive in the squirrel chasing department. Or possibly, this is a UPS man. Zoe's a good girl.
Come here.
Oh
my goodness. It's always like, oh my gosh, always.
Good thing we're in a group of pet photographers, right?
I know. Thank goodness. Like, people don't mind.
It makes sense.
Come. Actually, Zoe needs to say hello. Zoe, come here. Come on. Come on up. Come on. Oh, there she is.
There's my girl. There she is. Zoe's a good girl. Zoe's a good girl. Okay, so we were talking about this video series I have. I have this framework that I've put together on helping you find clarity, get unstuck, and focus on the things that matter. And in the free video series, I have a download and an exercise that you can walk through right now. By the way, Nicole, listen, I know everybody's busy. And so when I teach productivity and time management, the first thing people say is, Heather, I don't have time for those videos. But the videos.
Zoe, come. Zoe. Hey. Come. Hysterical. All right.
Usually Zoe just takes a nap during our videos.
Well, you think she does. It's when I'm talking. She's like, ooh. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody's busy and nobody has time to either like, Heather, I want to do better. I want to gain more clarity, but I just don't have time. I created these 3 videos. They're like 5 minutes a piece.
Yeah, because
they're super brief.
The last thing we have is time.
Yeah, they're brief. They're actionable. I have an exercise inside of those videos that you can do to help you gain clarity, because that's the biggest thing I see people struggle with. And listen, if you sit down tonight to edit your photos, instead of binge watching Netflix on your iPad or your laptop, why not just put these 3 free videos on? I mean, it's only 5 minutes a piece. They're super brief, and you can watch them, and it can hopefully start to guide you in the right direction so that you feel great about what you're working on. So we'll post the link below in order to sign up for that free video series. But people are going through it. I'm getting great feedback that they love it. It's just helping them gain clarity.
Here, look, I even made a pretty link. There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, that's not it. That's the wrong thing.
That's not it.
Stand by.
There's a pretty link somewhere.
There it is. Hold on, I need to redo. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is real life right here, everyone. Okay, go away, this thing. All right, there we go. It is care of the dog blog.com/ you ready, Heather? You'll like this. Own time.
Yeah. So one of the things I say to everyone, people ask me to do a lot of things. I have a massive amount of things I do with my business. I'm also director of education at a camera store. I have kids. I have a homestead, a bunch of chickens and some ducks. I do a lot of different things. And when people ask me to do something, they say, can you get this done? And I lean in and I say, I own time. I can do whatever I want because I own time. And just a real quick tip before we leave, an actionable strategy is this. Change how you speak about time. Stop saying you're so busy and you don't have time. If you repeat that enough, your brain will start to believe it, and it will look for ways to keep you busier, to affirm your thinking. So if you just walk around saying, I own time, I have all of the time in the world. And listen, even if you don't entirely believe it, if you say it enough, your brain will believe it, and you'll be so shocked at how much time you have. I have time for anything and everything I want. So I'm not stressed out. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm totally relaxed. Okay, that doesn't mean I always have it perfectly together, because
you're like all zen all the time. I mean, sometimes, oh my God. Sometimes what just happened?
Yeah, right.
That's my brain.
Right. Like, you still have areas of stress. But you know what, Nicole, I have found when I start to feel stressed out, it is 100% because I am lacking clarity.
Yes.
I'm just not focused on what I need to be focused on.
And I find too, if I don't sit down and if I start my day without my list of 3, I waste like an hour or 2. I'm like, oh, well, let me just check my email then. Oh, I should do this. Oh, let me post in the Facebook group. An hour later, I'm like, oh, what did I come to Facebook for?
To waste time. Yeah.
Just get sucked in. But like, if I have those 3 things, I sit down and I know immediately what to work on. And truly, if I did even 1 or 2 of those 3 things, and then I got derailed for the rest of the day, I feel productive at the end of the day because I took care of some of the most important things.
Yes.
That honestly might not have happened if I didn't have those written down before I started my day. So that, I think, is my number 1 secret to getting progress on anything, really.
Okay, so those 3 things. So do you... I mean, what I do is I write them down the day before, and I say to myself, what 3 things, if I only got these 3 things done, would I feel awesome about at the end of the day? Do you do it ahead of time like that?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to.
I know, and I notice a difference.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're reacting. You're reacting to what happens. Yeah.
And I'm just wasting my most productive time. I'm a morning person. I'm not a night owl.
Same.
Your most productive time might be 2 in the morning. I'm like brain dead after 9.
Yeah.
And so morning is, if I drop the kids off school, I'm back here by 8, and like that 8 to 10:30, if I don't get the important stuff done then, it might still get done, but not as quickly as easily. Like, that's my place of ease.
Yeah. And if I squirrel away that time in the morning, I get so disappointed in myself. Like, I could do things in the afternoon. I save administrative tasks for the afternoon, things like email or social media, so that I do not get sucked into that. Also, I keep saying one more tip, but this is a really good one. Okay, one last tip of productivity. This is my phone screen. It's empty. Empty.
Yep. Wow.
It's empty. There's nothing on my home screen at all. In fact, I don't like that one voicemail showing up. So I need to get rid of that.
Mine doesn't look. It looks like my desktop.
Yeah, no. And look at this. This is the very last screen on my phone. And it says, really? And in that folder where it says really is my email and Instagram. And that's it. And that's on the last screen of my phone. I have to swipe 4 times and click a folder that says really in order to get to anything distracting. So when I open my phone, it's just blank and empty and happy.
Where do you keep your actual useful apps? Are they on the 3rd page?
On the second or 3rd page, depending. Yeah. And I actually I do a lot of Facebook Lives in my group. So I put Facebook on when I'm going to do a live, and then I remove it. So I'll remove it today because it's Friday, and I'll keep Facebook off of my phone until I do my next live video. Ooh. So if you are not doing live videos for your business, you do not need Facebook on your phone.
Yeah, no, this is a hard one too, because we're always like on the go, and it's like, I run business. I can check into my Facebook page, but how much time? Actually, the new iOS has all that, like that screen time. Mm-hmm. And I look at it, and as long as I'm under 30 minutes a day on my phone and Facebook, I'm like, okay, I've done all right.
Right.
As long as I haven't spent too much time during the day here, because I do a lot of my Facebook stuff from my phone, which is probably not good, and I probably should do more from the computer. But Yeah. Yeah.
And so you should move it today.
Sometimes I'm like unboxing you, or like I'm on the actual phone or using directions, which counts towards my like 3 hours or whatever.
I know.
Because it's time stuff. Here we are on Facebook, though. Hey, Facebook. I love you, Facebook.
Well, I know obviously you can use things to be productive. Right. And if you are a photographer and you're learning and you're jumping into the group to learn things, that's a productive use of time. You just have to be careful not to get sucked into the news feed or things that have nothing to do with your business. I mean, if you find yourself watching silly cat videos, even though, yes, you are a pet photographer, I mean, is that really helping your business? No, stop.
I actually have another little fun tip. And that is, so I use a program called Text Expander. So it's basically like I do keyboard shortcuts and like my emails can come up or my address or this or that. I use it for websites too. So I can go directly. I didn't remember to actually do it instead of doing Facebook and then linking to it, because that's where I get lost. Like I'm like, oh, I need to respond to this person in my group. And so then I go to Facebook, but then all of a sudden, half an hour later, I'm like, what did I come here for? But instead, I can just do, my little semicolon HODFB and my URL bar, boom, and that takes me directly into the group.
Okay, stop yourself right now. That is probably the most brilliant use of Text Expander I've ever heard. I did not think of that. Mm-hmm. That is brilliant.
Like to log in for my courses, I need to log in. I just like semicolon login, boom, pops up. So it's so easy to give people the addresses, but also for me to go there.
Yeah. So that's a great tip. Whether it's on your phone or on your desktop, don't ever go to your Facebook news feed, ever. Have a link that it goes to. Instead of that, create a shortcut. That's actually really solid advice. Well done.
Oh, Judy says hair of the dog group takes up so much of my time. You guys can spend time there. That's okay.
It's productive. It's worthwhile.
Elise also said that she felt, back when we were talking about like little baby steps and making a big plan and just getting it done. She said that she felt this way when she was taking her first baby step in her grand plan by making an Instagram page, which can be really overwhelming. And just finally did it. It's not perfect. My logo isn't what I want. Everything is basically an experiment at this point, but it's a learning and growing process. I finally admitted it to myself and just did it. I'm proud of you. Good job.
Good.
This is all still a learning experience.
Yeah.
My business is still a learning experience. I've been in business for, 8 years now almost. It's 9 almost. Holy cow. It's still a learning experience.
It's always evolving, and you're always tripping yourself up, and you're learning more about yourself. Really, the key here is know thyself, know what makes you tick and how you operate. And you're just always refining that. I saw another comment from Holly. She was asking if our necklaces match. So actually, my necklace says flourish, and I made this one, and I made one for Nicole. Tell them what yours says.
Mine says free, because one of my core values is freedom, like financial freedom for my time, basically freedom to do what I choose. Yeah. So live the life that I want to.
That's right. Good for you. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it. I hope you'll check out the free course.
We just kept on chatting. We're like, we're going to make this really, really quick because, we
don't want to waste your time.
I know. And my house cleaner came. That's when Zoe started barking, which, by the way, is another huge time saving tip. And it's okay. Do not let guilt you into I shouldn't do that. If it frees you up physically and mentally to focus on more revenue producing activities like your business, it is worth every penny.
And all the money in the world. Yep, absolutely.
And my house smells good. And she's really sweet and wonderful and nice. I love her. So, yay. It's a win. Oh, all right. Thanks, guys. Have a great one. Don't forget to check out Heather's video series, hairofthedogblog.com/own time. And, there's lots of great tips, and they're quick. So they're quick and actionable, which is how, my content, Heather's content's the same, quick and actionable, because we just want to give you quick results. So talk to you guys soon. Bye, everybody.